Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Stirring the Pot. This is going to be our final episode for this school year. We might try and get a few out to you during the summer, but we all leave to go home this week. We've got NFL draft grades and a couple different storylines to talk about for you guys today. But before we get on to the NFL draft and everything that happens surrounding it, guys, how does it feel that this is our third consecutive season of doing Stirring the Pot?
It's been quite a ride, honestly, with you. And like mock drafts are always they have the highlights and they have the highs and lows of what we do with the mock drafts. But to actually go to the draft and see the process play out and to see some of the picks that we had in either our first or second mock draft actually come true, which surprisingly enough was picks that I didn't even think were going to happen. That did. This draft was pretty crazy. And this was a very unique draft. Some will say that this isn't a good draft compared to prior years that we've done, such as the Jaden Daniels year, that quarterback draft year. That was a pretty good year. Last year with basically if you needed an offensive weapon, you could have gotten it. But, I mean, it goes by quick. I think we average about 50 – I don't know how many episodes we get per year, like 25 to 30.
Usually 25 to 30.
Yeah, usually like 25
range.
to 30 mark. But like, goes by pretty quick. It's fun though.
Everybody's just sitting there.
RJ.
I thought John was going to go.
I was I'll go. I was going to say, it was a
for
pretty
it.
crazy first round. I mean, it's kind of hard to say, first off, Dom was a sniper. He basically called, like, a bunch of picks that nobody
The
saw
whole top
coming.
five.
I mean, he was on the Jeremiah Love the Cardinals train before it was cool. Way back in, our first draft in, late February, I want to say.
Okay, to be fair though, like that was a really weird pick.
It was a weird pick. We'll talk about it.
Not the first time I had him going in my first mock draft, but that was just a weird pick. But yeah, we'll get into that.
It was a weird pick, but I mean, the Rams had the shocking pick of the class. I mean, we were all hearing before, people were saying, it's going to be some big stuff's going to happen. It's not going to surprise people. And the Rams, taking Ty Simpson was definitely a shock we were all there for. I mean, Chiefs trading up. It was the moment we all thought the Chiefs were going to get Arvell Reese, which was pretty funny. Connor was like, why would your franchise give him another dynasty? And I'm like, we're the Jets. We're the reason Tom Brady exists because Mo Lewis sacked him and broke Drew Bledsoe's ribs or whatever. So but he goes to the Giants. He stays in New York, goes somewhere else. But just a fun first round all around. One of the more memorable draft experiences, I would say. A lot of just curveballs got thrown at us, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, it's a bunch of curveballs. Shout out the city of Pittsburgh. I think they did a phenomenal job with the draft. We went to day one on Thursday night. We were in the city practically the whole day. It was an incredible experience. And just being around with the fans, seeing the trades, and even the Ty Simpson pick, everybody's just losing their minds in one space. So it's pretty much like hundreds of thousands of people in one section just screaming and losing their minds about trades. When I saw the Browns trade back first, I'm like, okay, Caleb Downs is the Chief, and I'm going to forever regret it because it would have been my team that caused it. But it didn't end up happening. It's a pretty great first round, and even throughout the entire draft, a lot of steals from multiple teams. We'll talk about the draft grades, but it was a really fun experience overall in this draft. Dom, you kind of mentioned it, a bunch of curveballs and a bunch of teams not wanting to trade too much because of next year's class.
I mean, I did want to say this, though. I did not expect the NFL draft to be like that. Like, if you're a huge NFL fan, go into the draft. It's kind of like Disney World. If you're like...
It kind of is.
If you're an big NFL fan, outside perspective, this is my first ever NFL draft. I thought it was just kind of just a stage. No, there's so much to do there. Specifically in Acrisure, we were at a Topps tent that was set up,
booth,
or it was specific cards, autograph cards for every single team. You could look through. There were some cheap cards too, $2 cards, $1 cards.
What'd you get done?
Autograph for
Panthers?
$15.
Yeah, rookie card.
John, you got
I got Tony Gonzalez.
for $30. It's
Really good
affordable. There was other things there that I'm not going to mention that were $20 a piece, but you could still have a good time. And I mean, the draft hats are cool. Most of us got that. Some other things, other memorabilia, but there was a lot of stuff to do there. A lot of things to look at.
Yeah, it was $20 inside the actual vicinity for a beverage. We're not going to say what kind of beverage, but we had a great time. Like you said, that Topps tent was really cool. I came out of there with a $5 Devin Neal patch auto card. That was
that
really...
a rookie card too?
Yes, it was.
RPA, incredible.
Yep. rookie patch auto, Devin Neal of the Saints, $5, and a $2. One of mine and Dom's favorites, Demetrius Knight Jr., former South Carolina Gamecock and a Cincinnati Bengal. But it was a fun time there at the draft. It's the first time I've ever been to a NFL draft. I know RJ went to one, but I think the three of us have. This is our first.
That's our first, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's good to see that was in like a very I mean, you saw every fan there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, they were.
Check off. Jaguars took us a while.
Yeah,
Jaguars took us a while. We found him eventually. Found Trevor Lawrence eventually at the top 10.
Yep, it was incredible. First time I've been actually watching the draft. Before I did the festivities in Cleveland in 21, nothing to what it was like here. The tops thing wasn't a thing. I came home with a Quinshawn and Dylan Sampson rookie cards. Hope those values go up. $3 a piece. Can't beat it.
yeah, and we got free packs. I got a Josh Allen card. I think Dom got a.
I got like the Trey Hendrickson
Did we
card. I
both
don't
get
know what I
Trey?
did with
I don't
that.
want to talk.
I got
about that.
We all got Connor's team except Connor's team.
Cooper Cup. Too.
Yeah, everybody got my team except for me.
Then courtesy of the Pennsylvania Lottery tent for giving out hoodies,
I got a hoodie. It's the coolest
hoodies,
thing ever.
hats, tote bags.
Beanie too. Yeah.
Yeah, they were giving out some good merch there.
That they
time.
were. Most of it was free. I actually got to see one of my buddies from high school, which is weird considering the fact that we're both from Eastern Pennsylvania. But I believe he does go to Duquesne, so it did kind of make sense. But shout out to Alex. But let's go into some draft grades. So there's 4 teams on this draft board with A+ grades. Number 1 would be the Cleveland Browns. Number 2 is the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't like that. Number 3 would be the Raiders. And number 4 is the New York Jets. So we've got 2 teams represented at this table inside the top 4 with A+ grades. I'm going to let you guys sound off on that before we go into most of the draft.
I will say I didn't expect this to be a number 1 class, and the sole reason I said this, and I've said this before, believe it was the 3rd round we traded back because, or it was a situation where we had a pick. It was either the 4th or 3rd round, traded back because our player got taken, Oscar Delp, tight end out of Georgia. The Saints stole him, so we had to trade back. Other than that, this class was incredible. Trading back up for Emmanuel McNeil-Warren at pick number 58 in the 2nd round. It's only been 3 times where Andrew Berry has traded up, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren being one of them, the other 2, J.O.K. and Shadur Sanders. So hopefully he can kind of live up to that hype. Denzel Boston at 39, incredible pick. Spencer Fano, you get a 3rd-round draft capital that you used in a trade-up, I believe, it was for Austin Barber, tackle out of Florida, but you got offensive line. You got a great tackling specialist in Justin Jefferson for the special teams room. Taylor Green could potentially be your gadget guy at quarterback. Don't know how that's going to play out, but overall for Cleveland, there wasn't really a pick that I hated, and for them, they were one of my top drafts, and I was incredibly pleased.
Yeah, I mean, for the Jets, Jets kind of threw a curveball at us. Kind of the whole debate going up to the draft was, are they going to take Arvell Reese or David Bailey? We have been going to Reese the entire time, but the national media kind of seen a shift towards Bailey. Kind of after we recorded the podcast in that week, they do end up taking Bailey. I understand why. He's much more of kind of like, I guess the kind of thing was he's a bit more pro-ready. Just kind of the fact that like he did play on the edge in college while Reese didn't. And I mean, you look at the Jets general manager, Darren Mookie, he's from Denver. He's played a big part in that kind of turnaround they had. And a big part of that turnaround was Nick Benito. I think he's a very comparable player to David Bailey, both kind of speed rushers who aren't going to give you much against the run, but can get to the quarterback with great efficiency. And I mean, I think he saw the importance of that on Denver and wanted to get kind of his version of that for the Jets defense. But I really like the Jets doubling up at pass catcher in the 1st round. If they take Kenyon Steak at 16, which I mean none of us had. I don't think I saw anybody mock it anywhere. It was really just kind of one of the more shocking picks. But I mean, this is a guy who you mentioned in the pod before, who I love because he's just such a unique athlete at tight end. I mean, this guy jumps higher than Vince Carter and is faster than OBJ. He's just a complete, just wildly unique outlier athlete right here. And tight end's very important in the modern NFL. I mean, we saw more tight ends in this year's draft than we've seen ever get taken before in the past 20 years. So, and then going back into the 1st round for Omar Cooper, kind of having now, you get 2 guys who are very explosive after the catch to help your young quarterback when he gets here, probably next year, and was supposed to be a very good quarterback draft class this upcoming year. You get 2 guys who are going to help him out a lot to go off your 2 talented young tackles. I think they did a pretty good job. I mean, you still have a lot of work to be done on this team. I mean, that linebacker and safety room is still a bit thin. I wish they would have done a bit more there, maybe in the 4th. Instead of taking Cade Klubnik for some reason, I don't really understand why. Kind of a random pick there. But I mean, they really help kind of lay out the foundation for their young quarterback whenever he gets here. So I really like the fact that this offense might be watchable this year, where it was not last year at all.
Yeah, we apologize if our voices sound a little weird. It's the NFL draft flu. I think all kind of took us.
I
a
think
little
it's
bit.
that and finals week. It's just everything.
We're all dead, TLDR.
Yeah,
and we will still get texts from Brandon Lowsley if we want to go out tonight. But
Yeah, that is very true.
If we want to go out studying, yes.
Yes, I want to go out studying. That's exactly what I mean when I say let's go out.
Shout out the downtown library.
Yeah. But let's get our teams out of the way. Let's go to the 19th ranked draft, which I agree with, the Cincinnati Bengals. A B+, I think, is a very fair grade. There were a few really good picks in here. There were a few question marks. The biggest question mark, I would say, is Colby Young. That's an interesting pick. It's a bit of a prove-it draft. 4th round, pick 128, or pick 140, sorry. 4th round pick 128 is a phenomenal pick, by the way. Connor Lew, the center of Auburn, could have gone 1st round if he didn't get hurt this year. So that's the eventual successor to Ted Karras right there. I'm in love with that Connor Lew pick. I love Cassius Howell. I was a bit apprehensive at this position to pick for Cassius Howell to be a Cincinnati Bengal. I was a little bit kind of ajar because we have a bad history with Texas A&M defensive ends. Shamar Stewart. But Cassius Howell, I think, is a very solid player. He was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. He's got elite bend. I think he's going to fit right in with this new line. Obviously, the Cincinnati Bengals team didn't have a first-round pick, which is interesting to think about because they flipped that first-round pick into Dexter Lawrence. And I think that completely revamps the offensive line. So that front four on their best day is going to be Cassius Howell, Boye Mafe, Dexter Lawrence, and Jonathan Allen. That is scary. That is very scary. And those two kind of veteran presences in the middle are going to open up so many opportunities for younger edge rushers to get more space. They're going to command a lot of double teams. That's where you could potentially develop Shamar Stewart. It's not over for him yet. He's only been 1 year in the NFL, but looks like he's going to be more of a rotational piece on this defense. I like the Tacario Davis pick. A lot of people are kind of hemming and hawing about it, saying, "Oh, he's not the best corner in the draft." You're not going to get the best corner in the draft at pick 72. I like the pick, however. I think he's very good. He proved in a very good Big Ten that he could be a shutdown corner. I think he'll really mesh with DJ Turner in that secondary. Couple weird late-round picks. Landon Robinson's a bit of a question mark. I like Jack Andrews. He's good out of Texas. Brian Parker, I think, is a really good pick as well. He has potential to be a successor in the interior. But Colby Young, pick 140. You want to know what his final big board rank was? 347.
Oof.
He was obviously
in the James Gladstone?
He was obviously kind of a weird prospect because of a outstanding domestic violence charge. So there's a lot of things going on there. Obviously, he was let go of those charges, so they're giving him a bit of a prove-it deal in the 4th round. This kid can ball, though.
Didn't he get hurt too?
He did get hurt. It wasn't a serious injury, but the big thing was his criminal situation.
So it's kind of like an Isaiah Bond 2.0 last year,
Yes.
pretty much.
I would say so. He was ranked as a 7th rounder. Same with Landon Robinson. These are kind of flyers, but I'm not too mad at the pick. Obviously, there's a bit of controversy around Andre Yoshivas right now, whether he's fit to be the wide receiver 3 in this system. There's a lot of different guys. Obviously, Jermaine Burton's with the Bills now. But I think it's going to be fun to see how this Cincinnati Bengals team works out. I'm not mad at the draft at all. I think we had a couple really good picks, but let's move on to the 30th ranked team. Now, this is where the debates are going to start because the Pittsburgh Steelers, Dom's favorite team,
Ugly.
had a couple interesting picks. I think there's a lot of good picks in here, including all 3 of their 3rd round picks.
I'm just going to stop you there.
The third round is where they really strived, and in the 7th round.
No. Personally, you had 12 draft picks here. I feel like you could have dealt away 3 of them, and we don't really need some of these picks. I understood why you took. I'm not even going to say the tackle's last name because I don't want to butcher his last name, so we're just going to call him Max for today. Yeah, I agree with that, but I didn't like that the Steelers. You have 12 picks. You can clearly trade up for a receiver. You didn't know that Philly was going to steal Mekhi Lemon. Sure, I'll give you that credit, but you're greedy and you wanted to wait until Mekhi Lemon fell in your lap. He didn't. and you paid the price for that. And you got absolutely mogged by Philly because you were on the phone with him as they drafted him.
So Omar Khan decided, hey, let's not trade up for
let's
the...
not trade up.
Let's not... No. Let's not trade up for the potentially generational wide receiver. Let's trade up for a second-round wide receiver.
And, like, no hate on the guy we drafted. We clearly needed a tackle. But I feel like Jennings Dunker is a great pick there, too. I like that pick.
Well, he's a
really
guard.
like
He's
that
a
pick.
guard
Really
in the
like
NFL.
that pick.
Out-and-out guard.
Like that pick. I really like Dalen Everett. I really like Jeremy Bernard. Those are great picks. I do not think that we should have gotten the Iowa wide receiver. I think that's a waste of a pick. I think the defensive lineman and Gabriel Rubio is a waste of a pick. I think the tight end is a waste of a pick from the Hoosiers. Sorry, John. But we have enough tight ends on our roster right
That's
now.
a great selection.
Big,
No, he's a great fullback.
but like, okay, we have too many tight ends. What are we going to do here?
He played fullback mostly.
Well,
for
he's
Indiana.
listed as tight end.
Yeah,
oh,
you really
cool.
got two fullbacks, him and Heidenreich.
Oh, I like Heidenreich because
Whoa,
he's a
that's disrespectful.
Heidenreich
That
is
is
a good-
insanely disrespectful.
Heidenreich is a
he's
Pittsburgh
gonna be a
local. I
fullback
like
in the
that
NFL.
pick. But
Navy's all-time
and
leading receiver.
what's up with the safety? Robert
He's
Spears
like
Robert
Jennings,
Spears Jennings.
Kyle
good, or
Juszczyk.
like just kind of.
You know what? That hurts.
And then
that
here,
hurts my soul.
and then here
to
comes
hear
the
you say that.
controversial pick of the day. And yes, it did happen. That guy from Penn State
We told you.
got put on my
guy.
team because
yeah.
that's
You
what
heard it
I
here
didn't
first.
want, and you just divided the fandom. Now, in my opinion, he's probably going to beat Will Howard day one in camp because he's going to throw some moon ball, and then Mike McCarthy's going to fall in love with him and not even give Will Howard a chance. Or who knows, Aaron Rodgers might come back. That's still in the air. God knows if he ever will. You never know with Aaron Rodgers. It's always last minute with this guy. But I feel like that pick right there and the Iowa receiver pick should have been what we offered the trade up, or one of those two picks, because you should have let Will Howard go on the field and play. But now this is you just divided the fandom, and now people are taking sides of either Will Howard or Drew Aller.
Okay. Who shall not be named.
Let's tackle this one first. I'll come back to you and your blasphemous take later, John, that Eli Heidenreich is literally Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah, that's
He's a
that's
good
a
player.
bad.
Never seen him play football before.
He catches the ball.
Shout out Navy.
Yeah.
So did Kyle Juszczyk.
Well,
At Navy.
So do running backs. I mean,
He catches the ball at Navy. They drew up plays, passing plays for him at Navy.
didn't he tie the receiving record?
Yes, he did.
Well, that's like, I mean,
Tied the Navy receiving record. He is a homer. He's from Mount Lebanon, Pennsylvania. That is a homer pick. And I mean, what
high
a
school
good
played him.
Yeah, what a good feeling for him. It's got to be. I've always wondered what it's going to be like. Obviously, you can get out of your military contract at Navy if you get drafted. There's a special kind of waiver that you can get. But a lot of people were saying, "Oh, is he going to serve in the Navy for 3 years?" No, he's going to play for the Steelers.
that's not David Robertson anymore.
He's going to play for the Steelers. He's going to. But I think your worst pick was 100% Caden Weechen. That was awful. That's Gunnar
It's his
Olszewski. in the
tangibles.
fourth
It's his
round.
tangibles. 5'9". 5'9".
He's caught like what? I think he literally caught 2 passes.
Yeah, he's
in
a
his collegiate
he's a
career.
special teams.
What
guy.
about this Gabriel Rubio kid? Because I'm hearing a lot that people don't like him either.
So, you know what's funny, Dom? He doesn't have a big board ranking. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, he doesn't
Just
have one.
wonderful.
I think he has 2 tackles in his collegiate career.
Hey man, maybe Diego Pavia should have won here,
No.
But-
or we should have traded with that.
I think your best pick of the day was Dalen Everett. That's such a good pick. I think
like
he's
Jeremy
gonna fit.
Bernard.
See, I would like Jeremy Bernard for you. I think he's an amazing receiver.
To
But
replace Calvin Austin. Sure, fine.
he doesn't play anything like Calvin Austin.
The receiver
maybe
three,
the
something
Kenny
in
G
there.
replacement,
Just,
like just catching the screen.
I just need some
well,
kind of
he's
positive.
a much better route runner than that. But I think it kind of leaves a salty taste in your mouth because
There's 12 picks.
no, well, yeah,
Weren't there
but
10 selections total?
but it's
with
the fact that
12
you
picks?
traded up for Jeremy Bernard when you easily could have traded up for Mekhi Leonard.
Yeah, that wasn't a slap in the face because for some reason they thought he was going to go off the board.
Omar Khan cheaped you.
Well, that's the problem I have with Pittsburgh mainly. You have all these picks. You have what? It's 3 third-rounders at least that you used on selections. You could have traded up, and it was very easy to do. Why didn't you do it? I don't know if you guys
They
got
got
scared.
complacent. That's why.
Like, I understand you want to let the board fall to you, to a certain extent, but when you see some certain guys you don't expect fall off the board, and Philly and Dallas have done this before. It's for Devontae Smith.
It was he was mocked. We all mocked him in like top 15 too.
Mhm.
So this guy was talent. And why? If you want to be aggressive, if you want to get a guy that can really change like the way your offense runs, you got to trade up. You got to make some moves. Not some subpar guy in the 4th or 5th round.
I'm pretty sure I had him mocked to Baltimore at 14.
I had him at 16 with the Jazz.
So he was
always
around
falling.
He was around that range, but
A lot of people had him going to the Rams.
which is not terrible as Nico Credo's outside.
We
I-
need
I just think it was that first round, especially in front of your home crowd. You have their presentation when they had the pick was pretty cool. Can't lie, but
yes.
all that for,
And nobody knew who Max was. The funniest
is it
part.
Which is
Ionacker?
stupid.
Oh,
Ionacker.
all right.
yeah.
I think we should get on to a different team. We
No, because we haven't cleared the elephant in the room.
can- what?
Drew Aller.
Well, he sucks.
This is
He
like
doesn't suck.
He's terrible.
This is like
Horrible.
a character arc concluding for the podcast right here.
Yes.
Do we remember what two
No,
playoff games
it's
he
like
won?
chapter 2.
SMU and Boise State. I
We
mean,
talk about
all
Drew
you had to
Aller more
do
than
was
any
stack the
podcast
box
on the
against Ashton
planet.
Genty, and then SMU was just an easy win.
Does
And they-
Drew Aller play defense?
He does
well, I
not.
mean,
Exactly.
apparently Penn State fans think that he can do it all.
I mean, he
Drew
helps,
Aller
he
Glazers
helps
are
the other
fewer that are
defense a
open
lot.
than
So
Okay, Penn State fans are slowly becoming more and more realistic. And I love it because we don't
I
have
hate
to feel like, oh, we're a national championship contender every year. We're not. Drew Aller has the highest ceiling of any quarterback in this class.
That's not saying that much.
He has the highest ceiling.
Oh,
He has the lowest floor, but he has the highest ceiling. So but I like the quote that I heard in the media where if you take any quarterback outside of Mendoza and Simpson, you're throwing a dart at a dartboard with a blindfold.
pretty much. That's
It
fair.
might hit, it might miss. He's a third-round quarterback. You can't bank your entire future. There's a lot of good quarterbacks that have come into the NFL as third-rounders. Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson. There's a bunch of other names that you could name.
I mean, the way I look at it is that if he's going to be a good quarterback, this is a spot to do it. I mean,
Exactly.
we all joked about Mike McCarthy saying he developed Joe Montana in Kansas City, but the guy does have a good track record with quarterbacks. And let's just be honest here. I mean, he's worked with a bunch of just great stars there, and I mean, they have a good O-line, and they have good receivers, they have a good defense, they're well coached. Like, if he's going to be a good quarterback, it's going to happen in a spot like this. It's not just going to Arizona or like the Jets, where there's just not like, the infrastructure's not really there to make him a good quarterback. I mean, if he's going to be good, this is a spot too. I mean, they're giving him all the tools he needs to be a good starter. He's going to get, I mean, unless Rodgers does come back, which up in the air every day, but he's going to get that's crazy. You hate Aaron Rodgers and you want him to come
no,
back.
I will actually like. I don't even care if Drew Aller wins the Steelers games. I will still actively hate him.
Well,
I don't care.
I know the Steelers placed like this very rare tender on him to where he has like X amount of days until it's some like salary kicker type of
Basically
deal.
makes so that you have to know if he's signing with you guys
Yeah,
before training.
like compensation level of deal. But for Pittsburgh, I think if you're Drew Aller, you can't complain too much. Like, yes, I know men are Ohio Browns fan, all that. You got drafted to a team that has a good defense. And I think for any rookie quarterback, one of your best friends, besides probably your wide receiver one and your offensive lineman, is a great defense. Because guess what? When you don't have a defense allowing 30 points a game, you still have a chance to make a mistake, come back, and win a game.
Oh yes, I can't wait till Drew Aller plays the Cleveland Browns and throws a bunch of interceptions to lose the game.
He wants to
be
help the
so
Browns win.
I do want to see him play, though, at
So
I
let's,
don't.
Huntington Bank
I
Field.
want to see him play while this guy's
That's
in
going
the
to be
apartment with us.
beautiful. That's going to be so beautiful.
I'll turn my TV off. I'm
cannot
not
wait.
watching that garbage.
So let's talk about other teams. Let's talk about some surprises on the day. The Jags had one of the worst drafts I've ever seen. It was awful. They did draft Dom's guy, Tanner Koziel, in the 5th round.
Here's a TCT reference. Pretty good.
Yes, he
pretty
was.
good.
And Emmanuel Pregnone in the 3rd round. Pretty good pick. Outside of that, awful. Absolutely awful.
So that kind of leaves like a foul taste in Jacksonville fans. Like it's a foul taste because last year is recent news that Travis Hunter is just going to be one position now. When they drafted him as that multi-trick pony, basically Heisman winner Travis Hunter, that's on the board.
He's a corner.
So clearly, this team has drafting issues, and it's going to catch up to them in a few years.
Gladstone, I think, thinks he's smarter than everybody else. But he basically said, like, I have my own board. I don't use a consensus board. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, don't take they take a blocking tight end in the first round when they already have a guy who plays pretty good in line in Brenton Strange. It's just in the Hunter trade, looks like a disaster. So, Hunter's a guy. We all kind of knew is he really gonna play two ways in the NFL? It's we all kind of assumed it's highly unlikely. Although I didn't roll it out personally because I'm his biggest glazer, but I knew he was if he has to be a special kind of player for this to work out. And even if he is, it still might not. He's just making weird moves right here for a team that I think has a bright future ahead of him. They had a bad free agency. They had a weird draft. It's just it's weird, man. 'Cause I like Liam Cohen. I like Trevor Lawrence, but just questionable GMing and goes going on. In
Well, wasn't
right
Gladstone an assistant for the Rams?
Yes,
Under their GM
it feels
tree?
very Ramsey. I'll say that.
Well, here's my thing with Liam Cohen. I think Gladstone and Cohen have this in common, of the fact of they will go need over position value 100 times out of 100. And I think for this draft, in some cases, that showed, especially with the second rounder. I'm not even going to try.
Hey, Borkature.
Yeah. He was pick 56 in the second round.
We had no idea who was in the draft.
No. Yes, you could attribute Jacksonville to starting because I know there's a lot of tight ends taken after him due to a run or some scare of tight ends.
It was the most tight ends in the draft since all four.
Yeah,
which is
that's a lot.
Modern offense values that a lot in the NFL. Look at the Bears.
It's just the question of if he does not pan out as a great blocker and an occasional catcher, that pick's a fail because it's a second rounder, and you could say, look, you could have got these guys that you still need positional value for. So it's a risk, but Manuel Prignone in the third round, I thought that was arguably their best pick.
Connor, didn't you mention Sorry, RJ.
You're good.
Didn't you mention something that the kid that they drafted can't follow the scheme that they run, or that they needed something to address and they drafted the wrong person for it?
Who was that?
One of Jacksonville's linemen that they drafted that you just mentioned, RJ.
Prignone?
Yeah, I think it was, or the.
Prignone's a good player.
He's a good player.
Yeah. The thing with him, I'm pretty sure is just the age
He's
thing.
old.
A lot of teams, especially now, you could say.
And he had some medical issues.
I'm trying to find a recent example. Well, this is the example that pops in my head when it comes to old, is Brandon Whedon taken very early, and when he should have been probably a late day 2, early day 3 pick. So that age now, especially in this rate, the NFL and contracts and a lot of things.
There were a lot of olds in this draft.
They take that a lot into consideration more than people
25,
realize. Mm-hmm.
Trayton Stukes 25.
But, for Messidor, I thought he was a Cowboy until the Chargers took him. What was it, a pick before, right? What was it,
Yes.
20?
No, it was after. No,
something?
Cowboys traded back, so it was before.
Oh, wait, no.
Yeah.
Where was he at? 22.
This Jags class doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. One thing that I'm really surprised they didn't do in the late rounds was pick a running back.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Bashal Tootin is their starting running back.
This is they were good at running back values in this class all around. Emmett Johnson went way later than I think he should have. I think he's going to be a star in the NFL if he gets a chance to. He's in the Chiefs. Maybe he won't, but I love Emmett Johnson a lot. But both Penn State guys,
could have picked Katron Allen. Could have picked Fat Man.
It's just not a very good. You got to take at least one shot there. Running backs can get drafted good anywhere. A lot of the good running backs in the league right now are pretty late round draft picks.
All right. Before we wrap this episode up, we had to talk about that. I want to get your guys' opinion on the Ty Simpson pick, and then after that, let's talk about our top 3 biggest steals of this draft. You can go on any team, you can go on any round. Just goes on what opinion you have on certain guys. But before we get into that, pick number 13, the Los Angeles Rams select Ty Simpson, the Alabama quarterback. I really need to hear your guys' opinions on this because the Pittsburgh was going nuts when that pick was put in.
I think what's crazy about it is the fact, I don't know if people are overlooking into the media of what the phone call between McVay and Simpson, or if McVay was even on board with this pick or not. That's still up to interpretation based off of the way he's been going, but I'm kind of on the boat that I don't think he wanted this pick either. I think that he wanted a receiver.
Well, they're trying to cover up right now.
But it's and it's clear because he picks up the phone, he's like, he tries, he has a smile on his face, he tries, and then Ty Simpson's like, let's go make history, coach, and then McVay goes, yeah, no, go have a good night or something along the lines like that. I kind of get his frustration because you can justify, yes, the Rams are a really good team right now. They didn't have that immediate need, or they could maybe address that in the second round. Sure. They had the insurance to pick Simpson, and you could say, yeah, he could sit behind Stafford for a few years. But I don't think that was the right pick. That should have been maybe Mekhi Lemon right there.
I mean, my biggest issue is just the fact that, like, I like Ty Simpson as a player. I don't think he's gonna be. I think he is worthy of being a first round pick. My biggest issue with him is for going to the Rams is the fact that, let's say Stafford plays 2 more years, which I think we all think is kind of reasonable given like where he's at right now. 2 years is reasonable. If that's the case, then Ty Simpson will have started 1 year of football game, 1 year of actual football games in 6 years. Because remember, he sat behind all those guys at Bama for a while. I mean, 1 season in 6 years, like, he'll get preseason reps, but, like, I think there's value in getting those in-game reps, just getting starts. Like, I mean, sometimes it works out when you sit that long and look at Jordan Love's a good quarterback, we can all agree, but other times you're Trey Lance, and you just don't play enough football to meaningfully develop, and I think that really concerns me with this pick. I mean, this team, they made the Trent McDuffie trade, they had a great free agency, they really kind of went all in this year, and I mean, I think you should take a play, even like, it's a gift pick. I think you should take a player who can help your team win right now. I mean, you could have taken Casey Concepcion and had him just return punts for a year, and it would have helped you guys more this year. I mean, that was why they lost in the championship game, was they muffed 2 punts. But I just think that the Rams might be regretting this pick when they're looking, if they lose in the playoffs this year. I mean, they can still win the Super Bowl this year. Let's not say this is killing their chances altogether. I mean, they're still a very talented roster. I believe they are the odds-on favorite right now. But if they lose in the playoffs and this pick said it might come back to haunt them, I really think it might, because they're all in right now and taking players not going to help the window at all. I mean, there are other players that could have helped them a lot there.
At first, I wasn't too terribly mad at the Rams, because if you wanted to do it in any year for a luxury pick, it would have been this year, because this isn't even your pick. It's Atlanta's from the James Pierce trade. But looking back now into next year's class, doing a little bit of kind of preliminary research, the amount of quarterbacks in that draft. So we know how we were talking about receivers for this year. Imagine that next year, but for quarterbacks. In a nutshell, that's what it's going to be unless 3/4 of the class collapses, which is very, very low odds for that to happen. I think if you're the Rams, you must have loved something about Simpson enough to where you can say, okay, we can still behind-the-scenes train him. Stafford can do his thing. But if Stafford plays more than 2 years, this is a terrible pick. And I think really when you look at this pick, this selection was only possible because of what John mentioned with the Jordan Love's success and what he's been able to do on the field sitting for multiple years. But if you wanted to, I guess, mentor him anywhere, LA would have been the best spot. And I know we talked about it a lot when the Kyler Murray stuff was going on, like, oh, imagine, like, if he was playing on the Rams, like the developmental path, at least from that perspective, we compared that in KOC. But I think for the Rams, you were kind of pushing your draft capital chips for this draft on Ty Simpson. And if this does not work within the next 5 years, it's going to be mocked as one of those terrible first-round picks on trying to take a quarterback and trying to prepare for the future. And you could see less of those Jordan Love style of let's give him a couple years to develop in the first-round picks and, let's wait towards the 3rd round. So like something like a Carson Beck this year. So it's going to be a time-will-tell moment, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, the verdict is yet to be put out about this pick. We'll see what happens, like you said, in the next couple of years. Obviously, he's got, 6 years of football? He would have 6 years of football experience if Matthew Stafford plays 2 more years and he can only play
1 year of starting. That's my issue
starting.
with this pick.
Didn't he play lacrosse, too, at one point?
You're thinking of Tyler Buckner.
That's who it was, yes.
Yeah, that's Tyler Buckner.
I knew he was in that Bama room, though.
But let's go on to our favorite picks of the draft. Let's go top 3 of your favorite picks. I'll go with one of mine first. This one I love. Absolutely love this pick. Pick 53 to the Indianapolis Colts. Their first
stole mine.
Their first pick of the draft was C.J. Allen. I don't know how this dude fell out of the first round.
Wait, he went to 53?
53 to the Colts.
What?
Yeah, he fell. He fell, man. And
this team lost Zaire Franklin, correct?
Yeah, and I think the Colts,
Well,
they really kind of had a gutted linebacker. I mean, no more, what's his name? Darius Leonard, or is he going with something else now? Shaq Leonard. That's
Shaq
what's going on
Leonard.
now. But he fell off a cliff after a while. I mean, Bobby Okereke is gone. Phenomenal value. I mean, he was hurt this year. I think he's a lot better player than he is. I mean, he's going to be the field general of that Colts defense for a while now.
Well, I had C.J. Allen on my list, but I'll go with one of my other guys. I had 3 written down. For me, it was Chris Bell for the Miami Dolphins. I think I was really high on Chris Bell and hope Cleveland took him in the 3rd round. But Miami, considering they need a lot, you get him at pick, 94 in the 3rd round. I think he's a great prospect. I know the boards don't really like him that much, but he has the potential to be one of your top receivers in a Miami offense. Well, with under McDaniel was friendly. We have to see how that changes under Jeff Hafley as the head coach. But I think for Miami, you get a steal at wide receiver, very deep class, and you get one late in the 3rd round, or pretty sure it was late, pick 94. I thought it was a great selection.
I was really excited about this pick, but pick 32 is one of my favorites personally.
Jadarian Price.
Yeah, Jadarian Price to the Seattle Seahawks. I feel like it was necessary because Zach Charbonnet just needs a little bit of help to get to that 1 yard line so he can just be shoved in there with his weight to get the touchdown this year. I mean, Jadarian Price has shown that he backed up Love really well. Those two worked good as a tandem. In the C boat, I think this is like the first time since the 1940s that 2 running backs from the same college team have won in the 1st round together, which is incredible. By the way, Jeremiah Love is now the highest paid running back in the league right now, with just standard top 10, top 3.
Highest paid by total contract.
Yeah, without even touching the field yet.
Yeah. He's going to spend none of that money. He's going to have his financial planner invest it like a smart
good
man.
lad.
Seattle clearly needed that running back to support Charbonnet. Not saying Charbonnet is terrible, but he could use a little bit of help.
All right,
Thank you, Price.
This has potential to be my number 1. I think this is a major steal. He's ranked at 73 on the final big board rankings. They got him at 151. Carolina Panthers selected a guy that I've had the privilege to watch for a few years. Number 151, Zakee Wheatley out of Penn State. That kid is a dog. This guy flies around the field, and that's exactly what this Carolina Panthers defense needs. They had a really good draft. I'm surprised they're down at 18.
They're at 18?
Yeah, they got... I don't agree with that. I think they had a really solid draft.
I just look at San Fran's draft.
Awful.
It is god-awful.
Yeah.
Who is that receiver that they took?
Oh, DeJon Stribling's really good.
He's
but
good? Okay.
Not 33 good.
Probably not.
First pick in the 2nd round.
It kind of gives you Pearsall flashbacks a little bit over Worthy.
Ricky.
With mine, I'll keep it a little bit shorter. We talked about him as potentially being a 1st rounder, or at least very, very early 2nd. Anthony Hill Jr. to the Titans at pick 60. I tell you what, this is absolutely steal value. One of the top linebackers in the class. He has the speed. And this Tennessee team, I'm going to say this now, and I love this Tennessee draft. They stole Carnell Tate from my Cleveland Browns, unfortunately, but I like him in Tennessee. I want to hope he balls out. But this Tennessee team, I know this could be a little bit controversial. You could potentially see a wild card out of this Tennessee Titans team.
I don't think it's a high ass.
I'll give them like a 9-8. They're going to be a fun team to watch. They might upset some good quality teams. They're going to kind of be Carolina Panthers level. Like, you can compete with the big dogs, but you can also lose to the worst teams in the league. Which is, I'm also going to go with the Titans for this one, but I'm going to go with a different pick. I'm going to go with pick 165, Nick Singleton to the Titans. I love that pick, even though I'm not really a big fan of Penn State. I kind of think the Titans need a new one. I feel like this guy can contend eventually for the 1 spot. I mean, Tony Pollard, let's be honest, you can give him credit for having a 1,000-yard season, but it's pretty easy in this day and age to get 1,000 yards. All you got to do is just spam your one. I don't know, quite a few times a game, and they'll get 1,000 yards. It's really not that difficult. I feel like Nick Singleton will help. You kind of need a younger guy in there to help work with Cam Ward. You'll have Carnell Tate. You need this restructured offense going on for this new stadium. I feel like Nick Singleton was the right pick there.
All right, I'm going to be biased now. If you haven't been biased enough so far this episode, I love the D'Angelo Pons pick. He is such what this Jets team needed because he's just a playmaker. I mean, this team had no picks last year. Pons is a guy who, every Indiana game, he made an impact some way. I mean, look at not the Rose Bowl, whatever the game was against Oregon where he picked 6 Dante Moore in the first play of the game. He blocks the punt versus Illinois. He makes plays against Miami in the national championship game. I mean, because he's a small player, but I mean, he plays a lot bigger than he is. I mean, he was all over Indiana games this year. I mean, for the Jets, they need playmakers. This is a guy who's just going to find a way to on the scoreboard. I think he'll be a fan favorite fast in New York. He is such a fun player to watch. And I mean, he's going to his pro comp was his head coach, which is such a fun video to watch. Aaron Glenn reacting to that, but I mean, hopefully he can end this Jets pick drought because they made 7 picks in this draft. I think they want to compensate for 0 in the regular season. So,
Okay, I've got a tie for my number 1 spot. There's 2 guys that I want to talk about. There's the obvious one. You guys can get this one out of the way. You know who I'm going to say. You know who I'm going to say. Jermod McCoy at 101. The knee issues are a big thing, but if this kid gets past those knee issues, he's going to be a top 5 corner in the NFL.
I thought you were going to
the
say
Raiders
Chris
can
Brazzell.
afford the risk, I feel like.
They can afford
There
the
are
risk.
teams
They
that
can.
can't. The Raiders, I think, can afford that risk because they're not contending right
the
now.
14th ranked player on the board at 101.
Like they can, if he doesn't
Nuts.
work out, I don't think they're going to have much sweat over him not working out.
Well, you
No.
also got to consider they in free agency went a lot defense as well, so you have the ability to let him at least grow and maybe strengthen up that. What was it? Yeah, his knee after was his an ACL?
It was.
Or was that's what I thought. I thought you were going to say Chris Brazzell out of Carolina first because
I
that
do-
was also another.
I
great
do
pick.
I do love that pick, but I'm going to pick the most underrated wide receiver in the draft. If this kid played in the ACC, he's a late first rounder. Skylar Bell.
Yep.
This kid is incredible. If you watched him at UConn, obviously he did have really good quarterback play with Joe Fagnano, but him coming into Buffalo, oh God. Get ready, AFC East, because Josh Allen, Skylar Bell is going to be a great duo. I think they're going to mesh very well. He plays a lot like Khalil Shakir. I think having 2 of those kind of gadgety guys is going to be so much fun. It's exactly what Buffalo needed.
Yeah, it could be Josh Allen's key to potentially getting into a Super Bowl. He's going to be one of my honorable mentions, Skylar Bell. And also another one, honorable mention before I say mine, would be Kyle Lewis out of Pittsburgh. We got to see him play personally. Really great linebacker for the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins had a couple of great picks there. But I'll go Connor Liu, Auburn center. Connor, you mentioned a lot of injuries. I think it felt like he could have gone higher. I was hoping Cleveland traded back up for him. So he was going to be my goal for the center. But Cincinnati got him. I think he'll be a great replacement for Ted Karras. And tell you what, Cincinnati offensive line so far, I mean, that's a great selection.
Now, my favorite pick, my absolute favorite pick of the draft, and it's unfortunate the Steelers should have drafted this guy in the first round. We mocked him in the first round. I had mocked him in the first round. At pick 39, Denzel Boston. I feel like he'll be a key piece to Cleveland's offense for quite a few years because he's got the tangibles to be a great receiver. And I mean, him and Casey Conception, it's kind of like you pick 2 different receivers, but they can both do 2 different things. Denzel Boston is a bigger target, much more physical guy. Think kind of like DK Metcalf build. Easy target for Shedeur. It's going to help him transition as a quarterback, help him develop. It's going to get that offense going. You already started to have those pieces last year. You added Conception and Boston. And, I mean, they have Justin Jefferson now as linebacker, which was pretty cool.
I'll
But
tell you this, Dom. It's
an
now,
exciting pick.
There was news dropped today by Mary Kay Cabot at Cleveland.com that Deshaun Watson has the inside track for
he
one.
does.
And
No,
it's
he
not off
doesn't.
money. Apparently it's off of new system building, something like Deshaun had in Houston. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, for my last sleeper pick of the draft, I'm going to go with a guy who we talked about in our college part of the year way earlier. One of my players of the week, Brennan Thompson out of Mississippi State for the Chargers. Pick round 4, pick 105. Just really fast player. Was the fastest player at the combine, 4.2640, but not just raw combine throwing speed. He led the SEC in receiving yards this year. I think he's a true big play threat. He kind of fits that. He kind of complements that receiver room well with kind of Trey Harris and Lam McConkey on more possession guys. He can kind of be that just fast field stretcher right there. And I mean, whenever you lead the SEC in receiving yards, I think it's something you can kind of hang your hat on right there. I mean, that's real tough competition right there, especially as like Mississippi State, where maybe it's not the most best environment for a receiver right there. But I think he kind of fits that receiving room well. I think the Chargers are due for a big year. They've had some disappointments recently, but getting a guy like him who has like legit insane speed and also production to match it, I think could help a lot.
All right. That is going to do it for our draft analysis episode. Thank you guys for listening to us. All of this year, we're going to try and get some summer content out to you at some point. It won't be weekly uploads.
We're all pretty busy.
Yep.
We're all too busy.
I got to go golfing and go to other places that have a certain age requirement. And go to, just have fun. Go to Pirates games if they don't suck. And just try to forget about Drew Aller, which that's not going to happen either.
There you go.
But
Yeah. Any closing remarks on this season?
Season 3 coming to a close. Shout out. See, the bonus content, it'll be Season 3 bonus because when we get back here senior year, it'll be Season 4, the finale. Somehow, we have gotten there.
That it will
If
be.
you thought we were going to stop talking about Drew Aller, you're wrong.
This is just
More
the
Drew Aller
beginning.
talk
We're
all
just a
next
Drew
year.
Aller podcast now.
No,
let's
we're
be
not.
honest.
No,
here.
no.
I think
let's
I think
not
this
be.
next year is going to be our best year yet because we have so many storylines to go about now.
Oh,
'Cause
we didn't even mention the Terrell brothers storyline.
Well, because we're going to get to talk about next year. We're going to get to talk about Lenora Sellers' draft stock. And
be
Drew
beautiful.
Aller as a Steeler.
Dylan Stewart draft stock.
Dylan Stewart draft stock.
Julian Sayin draft stock as well.
Hey, KJ Duff
Potentially.
Rutgers, baby. Let's
Shout
go.
out.
We're all getting representation right there.
Always onward and upward for us here at Stir in the Pot. But we thank you guys for tuning in to another great season of Stir in the Pot. Some bonus content probably coming your way during the summer.
Maybe
so
you'll-
stay tuned.
You'll get the Carolina Panthers video one day.
The Carolina Panthers video
One
will
day.
be finished by the time we graduate. I'm telling you that. 'cause
might
we
be the
have
grad
part of it
present.
recorded. The grad present is going to be Carolina Panthers deep dive.
Might
What,
be
But
updated.
2020 or was it 23?
That was
I think it was 20.
bad.
I think it was
like,
20.
before Bryce Young reemerged.
But we are going to sign off in typical Carolina Panther fashion and say thank you guys for listening to Stir in the Pot. Keep pounding, everybody.